بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. My dear brothers and sisters, this is your brother Harun and we are back studying the work by Imam al-Suyuti rahimahullah, the work of day and night, and we have arrived at the chapter وظائف الجلوس والقيام. وظائف الجلوس والقيام. So this is the chapter that speaks about the daily practices of sitting and standing. Al-julus, sitting, wal-qiyam, standing. Al-qiyam is standing, it means standing. And this is on page 118 and 120. So this is a short chapter, hence the lesson will also be short. Now, subhanallah, it dawned upon me after having concluded the course on Kitab Mukhtasar al-Adhkari wal-Adab by Sheikh Abdul Muhsin bin Muhammad al-Qasim, hafidhahullah, that this work of Imam al-Suyuti actually complements it in a very nice way. So, small fa'idah here, or maybe a small advice here. If you read that work by Sheikh al-Qasim and then complement it with a reading of this work, you will have a more complete image and a better understanding of the daily prophetic remembrances and supplications, and also adab and practices and manners, etc. Now, what does Imam al-Suyuti write here? The Prophet ﷺ would squat on his heels, raising his knees, and he would sit with his legs drawn up, clasping them with his hands or wrapping them in his cloak, and he would cross his hands over. This was the way he would sit most of the time, but sometimes he sat cross-legged. He forbade, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, a person to sit with the legs drawn up while dressed in a single garment without wearing any undergarments, or to sit by leaning back with one's hands supporting one behind one's back. And as said in the previous lessons, I will not read the whole work. I'm just going to give a summary of the main points here. Then he said, وقال أكرم المجالس ما استقبل به القبلة. So the most honorable place, أكرم المجالس, to sit is that which faces the Qibla. So you have to sit, if you sit facing the Qibla, this is the most honorable place. And he, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it was also mentioned from him, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that it is sunnah that a person should never be in a place without doing dhikr or praying for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Like this, you say a certain salwala, because one will certainly be responsible for that on the day of resurrection. All thus Imam al-Suyuti. When one stands up from where one is sitting, one should say, and this is what we know as al-kafaratul majlis, سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك تب علي واغفر لي. And you should say this 3 times. And then you close it off with سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. These are well-known supplications, so I'll not translate them, and you can look them up yourself. Then the Prophet ﷺ also prohibited sitting by pathways, but if it is unavoidable, then its rights must be observed. And then Imam al-Suyuti, he mentions a few rights of the roads, of the pathways. 1. Lowering the gaze. 2. Preventing harm. 3. Returning greetings. 4. Commanding right and forbidding wrong. 5. Giving directions. 6. Helping the oppressed. 7. Helping with carrying things. 8. Responding to someone who sneezes by saying, may God have mercy upon you, yarhamukallah, and helping the blind. So all of these are the rights of the road. When you sit at the side of a road, these are the rights upon you have to fulfill. And it shows the adab, and it shows the manners one should observe when sitting alongside a road or a pathway. Imam Masudi also writes, it is humble to be content to sit anywhere in a gathering, with no concern for the honor of the gathering, meaning to not desire to sit at the front, and to sit at the edge of the gathering, out of humility. He, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, prohibited one from making one's brother stand up for one to sit in their place. It is sunnah for one to stand up or to stand for a scholar, for a righteous person, and for one's father or for a ruler when one of these persons enter a gathering. And lastly, I will mention from this chapter here that the Prophet ﷺ would not sit in a dark house without having a lamp in it, without that lamp bringing forth light. With this, I will close this reading here. As I said, it's a very short chapter, and the next lesson we will continue from this work, reading from this work, and that chapter will discuss the daily practices upon sleeping. And that chapter is actually quite extensive, so I will take a little bit more time for that chapter in the next lesson, inshallah. It's a long chapter. I'm looking at it now. Let me see. Yeah, it's quite a long chapter. To page 138. That's a chapter of 16 pages. So that lesson will be a little bit longer, inshallah. Okay. I hope this was beneficial. Please try to try to act upon what you read and read along with me, Get a copy of the book, and you don't need to buy the Arabic original, because this copy, it has the English text, the English translation, and it has the Arabic text fully vowelized. So this is very beneficial, one, for practicing your Arabic and reading Arabic and knowing how it has been translated. And the next dimension of it is to try to act upon it and to teach it, maybe to your family members or friends. So with that, with having said that, I will close this session also with Al-Kafaratul Majlis, very applicable dua here. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.